Hello, how you guys doing? We are back and ready to roll. Okay, let's get on and we're gonna look at two games today. So one's a 27 move game. That's the reason one's a 43 move game. And the player who played as white was Dr. Gabby Dobler or something like that. I don't know how to pronounce the name. I apologize. And then versus Christopher J. Bananaman, and he's black. He played as black, and the rating difference. The white was 1732, and black was 879. We're gonna get a drink, and we're gonna start into this. I apologize if I pronounced the names incorrectly. I did the best I could. So just you know what, stay tuned, have a good time, and watch. Okay. Alrighty. E4, E5, knight F3, knight C6, bishop C4. Basically, he's going for the Italian game. Knight F6, knight G5 to go after this here. D5. This is, I believe, called the fried liver attack. If I'm not mistaken, this is the fried liver attack. Bishop takes E, and knight B4. Knight to B4 was a slight inaccuracy. What you have to do is actually take on. If I'm not mistaken, I think you have to take knight A5. So knight A5 would be the move, okay. But he actually played knight B4, which was a mistake. So we'll promote this, promote to main line. This is actually the best move to counter the fried liver. But so the main line, yeah, goes A4 or E5, B5 check, C6, C takes D, B takes C, and bishop E2. H6 to kick the knight back even more, knight F3, and then F4, E4, and knight E5. And black's free. The development gives him compensation for the pawn, the loss of the pawn. And so that's a. There's also another line that potentially, if rather than that, he could play bishop knight B, knight D. He said, then C3, B5, bishop F1, knight takes D5 is playable. It's less common. There's another big one too. Rather than this, B5 right away it has been played, and then bishop oops, not E2, bishop F1 has been played. Can transpose to the above independent path from like knight takes D6, and then or you could actually transpose with queen takes if need be. And so you have to always be careful. You gotta be, yeah, you just have to always stay on. The game followed between the main line of the fried liver. So they actually the opponent walked right into the fried liver attack. d6, bishop e6, d takes, knight takes e. It was actually playable. Then f takes, c takes, queen takes, and d3 in the move order to reach the position that white actually wants with this weakness here. Oops, not delete that move. With potential castles in the works. But he did this, then queen takes c, and white made a serious blunder here. Knight takes d6, d6 is actually a mistake here, a total blunder. Because they're saying the best move is actually b5, bishop d7, bishop takes, queen takes, a3, knight c6, and d3 to let the bishop out with free flow. And black's still up one pawn. I mean, white's still up one pawn, so with probably both sides can be happy with the opening. White has a pretty solid position and an extra pawn. Black has free development and a better space in the center. Surprisingly, his opponent found the right move. You take here, and this is an exclam. Now the ultimate domination happens. Yeah. And black actually won here. Surprisingly, black won. I was wrong. I looked at the wrong which side. Black's 800 and his opponent's 17. So you got it. That tells you never underestimate a player. Always go full bore. Knight takes g, check. Bishop takes. Knight a3. Queen check on d4. King f1. Knight f d5. D3. Queen h4. Queen e1. Rook c8. He's going after the pawn. G3. Queen h check. King g1. Knight takes. Knight takes. Rook takes. And queen a5. Queen f5. Yeah, you got to be careful this pawn. This is a tricky position here. So he has to actually take. He can't take the knight. Castles. King g2. Queen takes d. And rook f1. e4. King to g1. Bishop d4. Queen takes here. Knight e3. Oops. queen, actually, interesting thing is queen f3 forces mate, actually, that they're saying, oops, sorry, wrong one. Delete. Queen f3 forces mate quicker. Mate 5. There's mate 6 here. Knight 94. Bishop takes. Bishop takes. Rook A, E1. I'm thinking probably rook A, D1 is probably better. Oh, queen B3. Bishop D4. Rook D1. Bishop takes. Check. He walked into a mating threat. Bishop E1. And he actually resigned here with King G1. I think he could have saved himself. After takes. Bishop takes. And mate 1. That's mate 1. Wow. That was a big upset. There was another game we were going to go over. So let's go to analysis mode, another one. One second. I get a sip of tea. Okay. This was a different line for sure. B3. E5. Bishop B2. Knight C6. E3. Knight F6. Knight F3. D6. Bishop E2. G6. Castles. Bishop G7. C5, C4. Castles. And D3. Rook E8. And Knight BD2. D5. C takes D. Knight takes D. And A3, which was actually a mistake. White appeared to have acquired a reverse hedgehog with not only an extra tempo for play, but also one gained when black played D6, or this move here, when he played this pawn move to here. However, the undefended B2 bishop offers a tactical opportunity, so better would be to have actually played queen to B1, would have actually been a better opportunity. Not leaving this on pre. A3 leaves it on pre. But black actually missed the option. Black played bishop to e6 here. Potentially better would have actually been e4, a tactical option. With d takes e, pretty much forced. That's what he said. And what you'd have to do at this point, bishop takes bishop. E takes d. Bishop takes. Queen takes here. And then queen takes d. And white can claim potential compensation for the exchange. A potential small amount of compensation. They're saying after here, instead of takes, you can actually play bishop takes. This is another line. E takes, and white loses a piece with knight to d4. Knight d4. Sorry about that. Not c4. I had to get rid of that. Knight takes. E takes. E takes d, and then you take there. It is a train wreck of a position. Okay, let's see. Let's go back to this part here. Okay. Instead of taking here, you can actually play a tactical modification of knight takes, f takes, and bishop e with a slightly better position for black. Another way to go. And there's also one other way. Instead of taking the bishop, you can actually play c takes d here, c takes d6, and bishop g. And black has an edge here. So those are all the lines that you can look at. But you missed that. Some of those you have to be kind of mentally fit, I've kind of realized, for unless you practice and actually do over the board, even if it's against the AI, you set up the board, you play against the artificial intelligence or the engine, and then you move the pieces, then the computer moves and you move it on the board, and then you try to find the best move and you play. That's a way that you can get your over the board amped up a little bit. So, oops, alrighty. Let's see what we got here now that he missed that. So queen c2 was, he bailed out with that. f6 was played, which is actually a dubious move. An unfortunate choice with such several, which has a negative effect. It weakens the kingside position, reduces the influence of the fianchettoed bishop, so this bishop loses a lot of its scope now. And spends a move, does nothing to counter white's c-file. Kaboom, that c-file. And the queenside ambition of basically going up the board, up, and away we go. So they're saying that better actually potentially could have been to have stopped the push of b4, would have been a5. Then knight to e4 potentially. Let's see, knight. Oh, knight e4. That was me right there. Sorry, I have to remember it's white to move. F5 to attack. B4. B4 is also, let's see here. F5, B4. B4 could be played. And if that gets taken, then you could always take back and then have this open file for an attack. But you got to be careful. So there's also compensation. Rather than the A move, you can play queen to not D6. I mouse slip on my part there. King E7, and then B4, and all are reserved to consider. There's a lot of considerations that you can play up the board. You go like that. It just this is just a pretty cramped queen side, and white is going to try to keep it locked down while they expand on their side. Okay, dokie. So F6 was played, which is dubious. Rook A C1, Queen D7, Rook F E1, Rook A C8. This is so that when the knight moves right on through, oops, knight moves, pawn comes up. Okay, see, knight E4, knight C E7. He tried that move, and it's actually not the right move. Knight to C5 actually just comes in with pain and more pain. Come on. That attack there. Queen C6. Knight takes E. Queen takes E. They're saying that better here would have actually been D4. Wins material here as black's E pawn is undefended and unable to safely advance. So this right here would have actually won material on the spot with a potential E4 to boot next. But wasn't played, so knight takes, queen takes, knight D2, which we're trying to reroute into here. King over, because he's afraid of this right here, the pin. Knight E4. D4 was interesting. A D4 move would have been interesting as well. B6 is a playable move, and queen to B1 with the opportunity of basically doubling rooks and controlling fully the open file. C5, pawn C5 to and then now D4 is a really good move here. F5, knight G5, bishop F6, knight F3, trying to go after this pawn here. C takes D, 4, E takes D4, and then E4. E5 now jumps right. He jumps right back in, saying thank you for the spot. E6, and knight bishop b5, which is actually, it's got a lot of point to it. It attacks here. Now in my opinion, white's all mobilized. Yes, white also has the two bishops, so we need to stop for just a second to take scope. White's king's more safe, so we gotta say that. White's king's more safe. Black's king isn't as safe. White does have a lot of central space. Black does have a lot of central space. His rook's under attack right now, but I think it's holdable. So there's really no infiltration points yet that could be taken. And maybe he can come here, and if rook takes, rook slides over, and then if rook takes, knight takes, knight would take there, and potentially it'd be an interesting position, but that's just how it is. Okay, let me see here. Where are we at? Okay, we're on move 26. So knight, queen e, bishop b5, and rook a, e8. Rook takes was an interest. He actually played this. They're saying that this would have given white a slight advantage with this, because that if white had tried, black can't ever dominate here. I'm gonna give white a slight advantage, very slight. He took. Knight takes c. Rook c1. And then bishop took the knight, which was a mistake. Knight d6 would have actually been a little bit better of a move, trying to kick this this bishop out of its nice comfy home there. And then if the bishop went to a6, you always have then the potential idea for maybe, let me see here, let me see, maybe we can push here and then try to trap the bishop, but we'd have to move this here. So interesting position. So he just took, which was actually a mistake there. He takes knight here, there. Okay, now, oops, wrong knight. Bishop c4. This is not turning out very good for his opponent. Knight c6. He's trying to get this here. Rook d1. Knight, he has to go back again. So black's plan of exchanging the dark square bishop, then moving his knight back and forth to the passive position with basically white has a crushing position here. Queen to c1 and queen c6, trying to get out of the pin. Queen h with mate to boot. Pawn push. e6 is an accurate way to force checkmate. So we were right. e6, and then queen comes in here, and there's really no way to stop mate. This queen blundered by moving, The king is toast, basically. The queen moved in first, so it's just a more accurate mating net that would have been much better. Okay, okay, it has the line here, king, knight f, knight f, rook takes, check, knight e, e8, and then, yep, queen there. That's a mate. E6 was actually played, so he was able to guard a little longer. Wow, he dodged a checkmating bullet right there. Bishop takes d. Yeah, he can't take the queen here. Played f4. If he takes here, then black gets checkmated. Oh, that would not be fun. So knight takes d5 is met by rook takes d5. And if rook takes d5, then there's check, check. Actually, you could just push at this point, sorry. Six is actually losing for white, and so this is the only move here. After that, you push here, here, and then mate. So bishop f4 was played. Queen f8. Rook takes. Bishop takes queen. Knight c6. Bishop f7. With the idea if rook takes, then you win the piece back. If the king comes over, and now you're up a whole piece, so you can't do that. King g7. I'm gonna promote that to the main line. Promote. King g7. Okay. E6. King h6. Pretty sad when your king has to run like that. Rook d6. E3. D8. See, and then E2 and the king f2. And he resigned at this point. Resignation was in order. Your move sequences have to be really careful. And so that was a pretty interesting move. Let's see if that what he said. Yep. Okay. Let's do some practice puzzles, and then we'll get into the big ones. Where did we stop? Ah, here we go. Now it's oops. Oops. We're going to board edit. Now you, my chess friends, get to help me solve these puzzles. So let's see what we got here. I will test your knowledge of chess. Wait to play. Wait to play. Wait to move. What do you say the move is? Wait to move. Yep. That's right. Okay. Let's move the kings around a little bit. Wait to move. What's the move? Yep, exactly right. That is right. You can actually, I think, turn it into a rook too if you wanted to. I think the rook works too. But it's nicer to turn it into a wait to move. Well, yep, there we go. Queen there, right on. Wait to move. Wait to play and move. Yep. Only piece that could mate is a queen, not a rook in that line. So, congrats on finding that. Wait to move. Yep, only piece that could mate is the queen, because if you did a rook, the king could flee to d7. So that is correct. Great job. Alrighty. Let's see what do we got here. Okay. Wait to move. B8 queen, yes. And that is the only move that's the only piece that can mate in that line. So Great job on finding that. Now we're going to rook versus king plus rook versus king plus rook. So this is going to be interesting ones. Let's test your skills on rook maneuvering and see what you have. Alright. White to move. Yep, rook b8 is mate. Oops, I have to go back. Yep, rook b8 is mate. Good job. Now we're going to make it a little bit harder and see if you got it. Let's see if you got the rooks. White to move. Rook f8, yes. There we go. A little bit harder of a one. Let's see if you can solve this. You're all welcome to participate, so feel free to type in the move. Yes, rook h7 mates is correct. White to move. Rook 8. That is great. And that is mate too. So congratulations on that. White to move. Yep. That is right. That is mate. On the square H. H3. So that was good. Good. Okay. White to move. Right, rook e1 is mate. Congratulations on that. Yes. Now this is going to be a little bit different of a chapter, so you're gonna have to get. It's gonna turn up the heat a little bit. Black to move. takes F1 mate. Yes, that is great. Alrighty, let's see. So we have to go to E1. Black to move. Rook C1. Yep. Correct. Amundo. Yes, sir. That was right. Oops, sorry. I have to move the. My bad. That was a mistake on my part. There we go. Now it's right. Black to move. Black to move. Even. What do you think the mating move is? Does anyone want to give it a try? Give it a try. You win a prize, which is the win. So what? Yeah, there we go. Rook H1, nice. You are a winner. You got the grand prize. You get the 0 on your side. I mean, not the 0, the 1 on your side. That was my problem. that was the wrong one. I was thinking, you get the 1 instead of the 0. So there you go. That's funny. I was thinking of your opponent having the 0, but that was funny. I somehow said that. I said that for us. That is hilarious. You gotta always laugh at yourself. That's good sense of humor is always good. Black to play. Let's see if you can be a winner. Let's see if you find the right puzzle. What is the right puzzle? Move. Rook E1, yes. And you got the right puzzle. Yay, nice work. Okay, dokie, let's pull back. Let's got 2 more, and then we'll head into our next section of the stuff. Oops, that's not what I want to go right there. Okay, it's black to move. 1 more after this. Can you get 100%? Let's see, my chess friends. You have 2 more. This is the after this one, 1. Can you take it all the way? Oh, that's okay. Oh, Is it lagging really bad? Okay. Then let's do it too. Okay, perfect job on that. One more. One more for it all. Let's see if we can get this. We will be at 100%. If we, oops, come on. If we get this right, we will be at 100%. And that is always nice to be at. Okay. And yay! Great job. 100% on that. Nice. So, all right. Next next one we're not doing it right now, but next time we're gonna do queen. Actually, mates with rooks versus queens. So that'll be fun. All right. Let's get us into a game. We did. I think it was Karpov last time. So let's see what do we got here. Want to make sure. I should have bookmarked it. Oh, there's Spassky. Did we do? No, let's hold on. Have we done Karpov already? Let me make sure. Okay, no, we haven't done that yet. Yeah, okay, it's this is the one here, page 4. Okay. This is the two players. White is this gentleman. I'll put his name in. I don't know how to pronounce it. I think I should make sure I spelled that right. Yep, I believe that's. Yep, that's who's playing this game here. White must first, and I have to get it set up, but I just wanted to. It's a pretty straightforward move sequence. So I was looking at it, it's like, this looks like a good one. So let's get the king over here. Right there. Yes, and then we have to get pawns for white. Boom, 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 and boom. Let's get a queen for white. Where? Oops. We gotta get the king. Wow, the king's not very safe for sure. There we go. And I have to get a queen. White needs a rook. Don't want to leave white rookless. That'd be horrible. Okay, we are good to go, and it's a more positional move here. It's white to move. Find a you are white, so white must fight over the break of see what white wants to do is try to get this in, but his king is a little exposed because of the queen and the rook check, so you have to find the best move for this king. So look and see what's the best move for this king is, and I'll be right back. No, it's white to move. Oops, sorry. I have the position set up right. Oops. My bad, sorry. I knew I had a problem. Sorry. I should have checked that. That was my fault there. Yeah, you were right. It would have been mate. Yeah, that would have been mate. But, sorry. You have to forgive the misplacement of the pieces. I don't know how it did that. I had it right the first time, but so, you know what? Computer glitches. It's one of those things. But you know what? We got it right now. If the king was to move, where would be the best move for the king? Which one of these spots would be the best move for the king? Which spot? Yep, King C7 is right. I mean, King C3 is right. Yeah, Larson played Rook E3, and the King just went up the board. Undercover as quickly as possible. The E3 pawn is poison. Is a poison pawn here because it's not. You can't really take it. You could try to if the queen tried to take it here. It's actually a poison pawn because of taking, takes, and b6, and there's no way to stop this from queening. So you are Larson. I'm putting you in Larson's position. He can't play here with the queen, but he wants to come in another way with the queen. Where would be a good spot for the queen to be placed? I'll throw out some moves. Queen G2, Queen G2, Queen F2, or Queen G4. Which one would be a good move? You are Larson. Think about it, analyze it, look at and see why it's a good move and why you would play it. You have 3 queen moves to choose from. As they say in the Indiana Jones, choose wisely. And you have to understand why. What move would you choose? Which one of the queen moves? Queen G2, Queen F2, or Queen G4? I'll give you one more minute to make a decision, and then we'll... Oh. Okay. The move sequences. Alright, then. The move sequences are this. You are Larson. You are the Grandmaster Larson. Which one of these would you play if you were Grandmaster Larson? You're black. You can't take here because this is actually a poison. So you have to choose the right move. Is it queen here, or queen? Yes. Yep. You're right. Queen f2. That is right. Now, can you see this is a double question. This is a saving move. This pawn is now on pre almost because this rook could take it and this queen's now attacking it. You have to decide. You have two pieces to choose from. You have a queen or a rook. Which one would you where would you put which one? I mean, sorry. You have a queen or a rook. So, where's the best placement for your rook? Would the rook be best placed rook 8 or rook yep, you got it. Rook a3. That is right. That is actually an exclaim move, so congratulations on finding that. The rook defends the king. Excellent. Excellent. Good. Really good from the rear. So from this side here, so if the queen ever thought, the whole thing is it protects here, and if the queen ever thinks of coming here, it actually will protect it on b2. So rook a3, queen b2, rather than oops, 1 second, hold on. Hold on, I think I made a mistake there. Let me see. Rook a, queen b2, king a4. King a4 is what was actually played. Rook c2, king a5, rook d2, king a6, queen b4, rook a5. Now black tries to seal up with tries to steal on the enemy king from the other side. So he's going to try to go from the other side. King g5. Look, they're both one's going up this way, and the other one is coming down this way. So it's like c5 here is now playable. Rook h8. The exchange actually loses for, if you're wondering about this exchange actually loses. And then b6, and it's the pawn's too fast. So rook h8 has to be played. Queen c6. Why didn't he play queen a5 here? Well, queen, the whole idea of the game was based on pushing the c pawn. See, you could actually have done that. I see what you're saying. You could have actually done that, but I think that black would have just taken the pawn at this point. I think black would have just taken the pawn, and then your c pawn advance, and this is pinned. So I believe that's the reason why he played a5 here. And I think that if he tried to take here, the queen could actually now grab d6, and even if there was a check up here, you can move your king, and now it's covered, and white has two passed pawns. So I'm thinking that this actually seals up two things. It allows the queen to keep attacking D6 and indirectly protects C4. I think that's why. Right. Queen C6. Now we're letting this pawn up the board to roam free. Rook D8 to keep the eye on this pawn. B6. Now the pawn starts rolling. C takes D. 5. B7. C4. Rook B5. To get this pawn. This pawn is coming up the board. Queen A3. And now this is an exclam move. I will put it to you. The king is in check. What should you do? Should you intercept or move the king? What should you do? One wins, one loses. Your decision. Choose wisely. King B6. Surprisingly, that's an exclam move, so congratulations on finding that. Many would choose to actually move the rook and lose the queen. So you are on 100% today. F5 and queen to C5 here. And he resigned. It will hardly be any great revelation if I state that the king is the most active piece in the endgame. That's what the author says. In the next few examples, the king will prove to be extremely mobile piece in the queen and king endgames, where it can take its offensive action against the other king, basically the opposing king. So I need to put this in here. Perfect. Alrighty. Let's look at a Joel Benjamin game, forcing checkmates, or forcing chess moves. Let's see what we got here. We already did this one. Or have we done this one? Nope. Alright. Let's get this one set up. Okay, dokie. Alright, come on. Come on. What is going on here? Board editor. Ah, perfect. Now we're in the thing again. Let's do it to it. sure I have this right. That's good. Good. Okay, good. Yep, it's white to move. Says this. Seems that white can hardly win with the d-pawn poised to queen. But actually, what can he play? Forcing moves. Can you find the forcing move for white? This looks like a lost endgame, but think of forcing moves. What's the most forcing move for white? Exactly. Right on. You are right on. It's a good start. If this was to happen, this would actually be a mistake because King E7 is now a forced mate for white. It's actually a forced mate. Surprisingly, this wins for white. There's nothing that can stop white. Black played a double question mark move. What would be a double question mark move do you think that black played? I'm just putting the question out there. What would be a double question mark move that you think to try to block up these rooks here? What would be a move that you would try to think would be actually good? Yeah, this is actually, surprisingly, that's a double question mark move. It's losing. It's actually a losing move. He's saying rook f7 was necessary for a draw. It's the only way to get a draw here. You can actually get a draw with rook to f7, but that was a really hard one to find. So he did the losing move here. Which rook would you take with? Which rook would you take with? You have two rooks. Which one? Ask yourself, which one would you take with? Surprisingly, this one right here is actually the right one, and then she takes here. There's one move that's a double exclam. One move, and this is going to be a hard one. It's a quiet move. It is a quiet move. Really, really quiet. But this is a double exclam. Yeah, that would be a good one. But think even bigger. Think even bigger. This one is good. It might be a little bit hard. It's a really, really hard one to find. But I'll give you another like minute or two to see if you can go through it, siphon through it a little bit, come up with some ideas and strategize on it. Because these moves are here. These moves are the moves that we're seeing on the board here. They are possible even in your games, my friends. So just keep that in mind, that this is helping by you spotting these. This is going to help you with your play. Yeah, it's kind of this is a really quiet move, but it has a lot of teeth to it. So just keep that in mind. I'll give you one more minute and then I'll put in some moves because I want to give you adequate time to try to solve it yourself. And if you do watch this pre-recorded, just stop it here and try to solve the double exclam for yourself as well, because it'll do nothing but help you in your chess play. Okay, I'll throw some moves out. One more. Which one of those moves would you consider? I'm throwing them out there. King e7, rook h8 check, rook h6 r, king e8. These are moves for white's moves. I'll do it one more time. King e7 is one. It could be a move. Rook h8 check could be a move. Rook h6 could be a move. Or king to e8. What is the move, my friends? Chess friends, I mean. What is the move? It's a double exclam. So if you find this, congratulations by yourself. But if you need help, hey, that's okay too. That's learning is all about that. Yes, you are right. Double exclam. Woohoo! Yeah. H6. Boom, boom. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Congratulations. Rook h6 double exclam. That was a hard one to find. Good work on finding that. And if you're thinking queen, it still ends in a checkmate because there's no way out now. There's no way to stop the king. You have to give the queen up at this point. And if you try any quiet move like this push here, it's mate. So it's you tighten up when he queens. You tighten up. You just move your king over to e7, and it's checkmate. So this is a brilliant move because what you're doing is you're making him queen so that you can come and then come in. Hey, how you doing? So rook h, king f7 was actually played by black, which is the main line. Promote to the main line. Rook f6 check. King g8. King e7. King h. Rook f7. king g6 and f5 check. E takes f, rook f6 check, and king g5. Okay, this is another interesting move. What would you play here? Okay, so can you see what happens if you play rook instead of oh, okay. Oh, right here. I think he flees this way here. And this actually, I believe, is losing for white, because there's no way to now stop this pawn, and there's no way for your king to actually get in here. The king would just flee, and white's whole desire is actually to get the king to e7 and tighten up this mating net on rook to h8. So by doing this, you're actually helping black escape. Surprisingly, it happens a lot. That's why taking here, rook here actually prevents this from happening. If he was to play here, you can actually, you can actually check here. You can bring your king, and if he queens, I'm thinking that this potentially would be a potential perpetual, would it? Maybe I'm missing something. I'm trying to see what would happen after king here. There might be something I'm missing. I think it's that. Is it that? Because I was thinking it's here. So it is that, okay. This, I think, would be a perpetual, but I think it's losing. This, I think, wins. I think you could actually take here, and after the king goes there, you can now stop this pawn. So the whole basis is if you could stop this D2 pawn from queening, you're winning. So okay, this, oops, let me see here. Let's go back here. It's up to you. There is one move that wins, and I will allow you to find that winning move. So what is the move for white that will win for white? What is the winning move? What do you think, Erie? Is the Lord's courage right? Is it the correct move? We'll give Erie a second. He might have disconnected for a second, and Erie will come back in, and then we'll give him an opportunity to choose. But by the way, that is the right move. So that is the correct move. Rook d6 is the correct move, and it wins. Congratulations on that, on finding that. It was a tough one. You have to think, do I continue with my attack, or do I stop the threat, and then after the pawn's neutralized, then I can continue my attack? Some would continue to attack, and they would miss that queening is actually you lose the game with that. So congratulations on not being tempted with pushing for an attack, even when you don't need an attack at the moment. All right, let's get another one here. Gonna work on a few endgames, then I'm gonna say adieu. Alrighty. Just gotta give the computer a chance to do its thing. Hold on, let me give it another. Let me try it again. What I'll do is I'll try. I'll do it on this one here. For some reason it's not wanting to pull up another tab. That's okay. We'll do board editor. When we're doing the lone king versus knight and rook pawn on the 6th or the 7th. So the thing that we're working on is got a little hiccup there. Lone king versus a knight and rook on the 7th. We've just seen the importance this last night. Bishops and pawns can't beat a lone king. Surely the flexible knight is immune from such basically a thing, right? Oh, really? I'll have to look into that and the endgame studies, because yeah, we'll work on we'll go over it again, because and I'll have to put it into a study. Oh no, not lag again. Really? It's lagging on me again, not wanting to respond. Am I not surprised? uh, but so we're gonna learn how to support a rook pawn with a knight, and we're gonna learn how to checkmate a king with a king, knight, and pawn. And we're going to learn what the best supporting spot for the king is. Excuse me. Gotta see if I'm still streaming at all. Wow, this is like really super duper laggy. I'll be right back, just give me a second. Oh, perfect. Ah, good, it's still working. Hooray, 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 hooray. A happy day. But this is having a sitch here. Huh. So I'm still streaming. Can you still hear me? I'll be right back. In action. We are back in action. Let's not waste any time. Alright, clear the board. Let's start it. Let's start up our endgame studies. I learned in chess and in life, you gotta go, you gotta take the, as they say, the punches and keep on going. You gotta dodge them, and just keep a level head about yourself, and you got it. Okay, dokie. This is what it says. Black is doomed even though he has the move. even though White's king is, Jeremy Silman says, in a whole different time zone because this is the queen side, and this is the king side here. King side, queen side. So he considers this a whole different time zone. The knight can still guard the king. Oops. Yeah, sorry. I have to have it be black to move. Oops, I made a mistake there. It's like this is make right. Make black to move. There we go. And I gotta flip the board 1 second. Black moved here. Can you see that knight to g4 is an exclam move? It protects the knight from the back. If you tried protecting it from the side, the king could actually attack the knight. So if you were thinking knight f7, that was a good try, but it's actually a draw at that point. He can actually take and then come back over here and stop the pawn. But because we played knight g4, if he tries to come up and then we come over, let's just come over this way here. And he comes up, the pawn runs. Yeah, that's right. But see, if he tries to go after the knight, the pawn queens. So he can try with all of his might to hold on after g4 with king g6, king c5. He can never come here because that'll go up the board. So king h8 or h7, king d5. The king starts its march from the queen's time zone to the king's time zone. g6, e6, king h8, king f7, king h8, king to g6. Watch out, king f6 is stalemate. So don't consider king f6 or king knight f6 because it would be stalemate. The king guards here and the knight guards there. The king can't move. So we set up for a potential mate here. So king g, king g8, knight e5. See, now what we have to do is do what we have to do though is have the knight be here. We need the knight here and the king there, and it would be mate. So first of all, you have to go knight e5, and then you have to figure out how do we get our king here, our knight there. Let's take a look here. Let me see, how would we do that? Let's see. Okay, this is 4 moves away, so we have to see here, 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 and in there. So let's see. I have to somehow get it so that, let me make sure, I want to see if I have this right. Let's see, okay, here. I have to promote this. 95, king h8, knight f7, okay, that's the move. King g8, okay. Yeah, that's it. I was trying to find a way to checkmate if there was like a, I don't think this, I was trying to find a way to checkmate a 15, it's a mate 15 or a mate 4. Yeah, sometimes you have to, so this teaches us something. In some situations, the best way to actually do it is to push, have the knight stop the king from here and make it run, and then check and then queen. And in some cases, if you can, you might even be able to mate the king by having the king like this. I'll set up the board and show you. Oops, I better just keep on this. I was blessed to get to have this page here, so I'm not gonna mess with anything else. And then mate. Okay. It seems that the knight's ability to control any color square, unlike the bishop, asserts that the knight and the pawn victory over a lone king and all are in all the same circumstances. However, as stated, there is one tricky situation that must be avoided, or players. If the side is in trouble, there's one thing that you have to be careful of. Right here. Okay, we're going to be going into editing mode, board editing mode. Surprisingly, this is a draw. This is a draw. There's no way to dislodge the knight. There's no way to get close enough to protect this pawn and allow the knight to come here and mate. There's no way for that to happen, because if we ever tried to come around here, that'd be stalemate. So there's no way to have that happen. I think it's this. I think it's different if it's white to move. Let me see. I think it's still a draw if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's still a draw. There's no way white or black to move. It's still a draw. Let's see how we're doing here. Okay, we'll do bishops of opposite colors here. F5. Right, this position right here. I'll get it so it's just right. Is a hopeless draw. Even though the king is close enough, it's still a draw because the bishop guards here. There's no way to dislodge. If you ever get close enough, the bishop will just go all the way over here. If you ever get close enough, the bishop will come here. So if the king ever tries to make its way there, the bishop will just scoot across, and then the bishop will go right. Oops. The bishop will go right back to there, and it might even just come here. So it's a hopeless draw. Now we're going to look at a position that's still a hopeless draw, but it looks like it's potentially winning. And there's a way for you, my friends, to actually pull a draw as black in this line. White enjoys, let me get the kings set up, both kings. And I'll read to you, it's white to move here. That's what Jeremy Silman says. White enjoys the dominating king's position with an extra pawn. Nevertheless, blacks draw in the mindset fashion by moving his bishop back and forth along this diagonal here. Oops. Presents himself, and finally would have to give up the bishop for the lone pawn, but it would be a draw. So if black can exchange these two pawns off, and basically get white with this pawn, he can just move his bishop back and forth along here, and whenever this pawn crosses on to e6, then it will be a draw. And I'll show you how it works. F4, bishop a1, f5, bishop b2, g5, h takes g, h takes g, bishop a1, king h7, bishop h2, f6, f takes, g3, and f5 is a draw too. And it's time for both sides to actually shake hands here. And then this is also, we'll do one more drawn. I'll set up one more drawn position before I log here. Let's get this set up here. Whoever is to move in this line, it's a draw. The position shows the main problem. The stronger side faces when the bishop of opposite color exists, is what Jeremy Silman says. The passed pawn on e6 is firmly locked by black's king, so there's no way that the king could actually get into g6, and also the bishop covers that pawn. And eventually, when these pawns trade off, this bishop will eventually, we're just going to trade him off. And then we're going to do here. And then let's say that we play here, he pushes, and that comes off. There's no way to dislodge this king here. You can try with all your might. Or here, sorry. You could try with all your might to dislodge this king, and this bishop could just dance around the board all day long, and it can go all the way around and all the way around at once too, and then do something like that, and then like that. You could do all those, and it's still a draw. When you are in trouble, an excellent last stand strategy, Jeremy Silman says, and we'll end on this, is for you to trade to a bishops of opposite color. That's what Jeremy Silman says. So your last stand could be a bishop of opposite color, even though you're a pawn down. If let's say your opponent has 3 pawns, but you have a bishop of opposite colored, you train your 2 off, and then you get on a diagonal, go back and forth until your opponent gets tired and then agrees to a draw. Do you have any questions on this before I log off? On what we studied tonight on our endgame? Nope. Okay. I wanted to thank you all for logging on. You know what? We're doing good. New platform. We're trying to get our develop. We're trying to get to the next level of 3,000, and we need to get a good basis of end game, middle game, and positional play. So that's kind of why we're studying, going into deep study right now, is to improve in our all the areas that we're in, because they're giving us puzzles like that involve positions, end game, and everything. We have to know how it all works, and so that's why we're going to probably spend some time, diving into this information for a while, and then we'll probably get back to the puzzles. But we have to get the good understanding of the fundamentals down with end game and forcing moves and all that, because that's how we'll be able to spot them, and then we'll be able to cross that 3,000 level threshold and get into the 3,100 level club. That'd be really nice. But what we have to always remember too is that, you know what, the Lord has to be the center of all of our studies too. He's the one who gives us our strength and everything. Like what E. Nightingale says, we become what we think about. If we think positive thoughts, if we think we can do it, and if we think we can keep pushing forward and we're going to get to our goal, it is possible. Bruce Lee said he fears not the man who has practiced 10,000 individual kicks, but he feared the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. So like when we get our end game, our positional understanding and our attacking understanding, and then the forcing tactical moves down, we'll be able to solve any puzzle that comes our way. And and how do we do that? Yasser Seirawan, Grandmaster Yasser Seirawan said that the way you do that is every long journey begins with one small step. And on Mission Critical with Tango, you have to treasure your victories and learn from your losses, and remember that mistakes do not define you. It is how you handle the mistake that defines you as a person, chess player, in any field that you're in. Bruce Lee also said there are no limits, there are plateaus, and you must not stay there. You must go beyond the plateaus that you're at. He also said that you know what, knowing is not enough, you must apply. Willing is not enough, you must do. And of course, the Chess Cruncher motto is don't give up, get up. And I like what Rusty said to the little engine. If you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. Either way, you are right. So whatever you think, it's going to come to pass. For some reason, man has that potential. But anything is possible with the Lord. And I know we talk about the grounds a lot. There's 4 grounds. There's when you have a blessing or a talent that the Lord has given you and you toss it aside, the stranger comes and picks it up and puts it in their pocket. Then you have the rocky ground, the one that the roots aren't deep, and it sprouts, and then all of a sudden it goes, the flower fades away. Then you have the ground that's full of weeds because it's not tilled. It's not. It wasn't taken care of like it was supposed to be. And it does have a harvest, not as much. But then there's that one ground, the due diligence, the one who, the people who search and work hard in their studies. They get all the weeds out of their lives. And that's the Chess Cruncher motto, is get the weeds out of your life. And it could be anything that takes you away from your talents, my friends. So don't let anything get in your way that, you know what, it has to, remember, ask the Lord if the thing is in your way. What can I do to push forward, onward, and upward even more? You can ask him that. Sometimes that'll help, and they'll show you things. It'll be like on a radio or something, and you'll be like, "Huh? You mean if I have take that out of my life, I could spend 10 more minutes doing this instead of that?" I'll think about that. But when we are studying, we're a chess crunch. Remember, like Tigger. And then people when you're studying and most are playing and doing other stuff, they ask you, "What you doing?" "I'm a chess cruncher." What's a chess cruncher? A chess cruncher does this. They hang up their coat, they hang up their hat, they sit down and study when most won't. They do, and that makes all the difference. Now, as Wesley So says, serve the Lord Jesus. And as I say, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, and evening, and Lord willing, I'll be back on, and we'll keep pushing forward in our studies and striving to get past 2,900 on to 3,000 and upward. And we can do it. Go Team Chess Cruncher, hoorah, be blessed, study, have fun, and always honor the Lord. Bye-bye.